I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. And so I like this exercise that makes me sweat. And when I started doing Tai Chi back in 2006, that was my very first experience with it. And it was with a partnership with the Department of Public Health to address arthritis. And when I went to that training in Atlanta, I thought to myself, I'm not going to be able to do that. That's too slow. It's too serene. Like I like dancing, step aerobics, let's get moving. What I didn't realize though is it was everything I needed to do. The other's fine. The
Yeah.
best type of exercise, honestly, is the one you're going to do.
Well, you know what? I got a problem with arthritis. That's why I have to work out and do stretches.
Well, arthritis is, or relieving pain from the arthritis is just one of the benefits from Tai Chi. And so I will let you know lots of reasons to take Tai Chi. And I just hope you'll find your reason, the benefit that's going to serve you the most, and that you'll hold on to that and let that motivate you to keep going. Because if you've never done Tai Chi before, you're going to feel a little bit awkward. And that's okay. We will work through that. You will be less and less awkward with practice. Okay. So be patient with yourself as we go through this journey. And I hope to make it especially enjoyable for you. I want us to look forward to our Tuesdays together and each week build on what we learned the week before. So, in the perfect world, we would come to class and I would teach you something. I would teach you a new move for Tai Chi to add on to what we already know. We'll learn while we're in class, and then until I see you again, I hope you'll do a little practice. I
Yeah,
hope you'll make an effort to do a little bit
yeah,
each day, or some days. Just think about it before we have class again. Now, that's the perfect world that we don't always live in. So I understand if you don't even think about Tai Chi until, oh gosh, it's Tuesday again. I meant to practice. I meant to think about it. I totally get it. I understand what that is like and all the I meant tos. So just know this. Each class is recorded. Each class is then uploaded to my YouTube page. My YouTube page, if you get on YouTube and search SOWEGA, 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 Jennifer Crosby, I'll pop up. If you have a Claris, it may already be a link on your Claris tablet where you can go straight to it. Now, on that YouTube page, the it will be the recording of your class, and the way I have them listed is by date, and then I either say AM or PM. So this will be the PM class. It'll just, like today's class will say SOWEGA August 13th, 2024 PM. So if you want to rewatch this class, the class is going to be on YouTube.
okay.
There may be one little part that you want to go over. You might not want to listen to all this yapping a second time. Um, you you can just fast forward to the part that you want to go back over. But another tool that I have on my YouTube page is a playlist that is called Tai Chi. And in that playlist, and unfortunately, I don't know how to put it in a certain order because I think what happens is the last video that was played bumps to the top. And if I told you I'm not a technology person, I just know a little bit to just really be dangerous. So, but on that playlist has a bunch of shorter videos because the class video will be an hour. On the Tai Chi playlist, you'll have a video that's just about neck warm-ups, shoulder warm-ups, spinal warm-ups. You know, you'll have a short video that talks about each section that we warm up every class. Then there will be a video that has all the warm-ups together. You may have warm-ups where I'm facing you, and that's called mirror image. And then you may have videos where where I'm turned around, because some people learn better if I'm at mirror image. So if I'm facing you and I say, let's go to the right, but if I go to the right, that looks like I'm going to the left, but this is my right. So whenever I teach mirror image and I say go to the right, I go to the right. And so I'm lying. I'm not going to the right, but I'm teaching you mirror image. So I'll teach you from the front and I'll turn around for you to follow me. But there's lots of videos in that Tai Chi playlist, and they're just intended for you to practice. Maybe you just want to focus on your neck. You just want to focus on your hips or knees. There's a video for everything. Short, and there's a lot more explanation in depth when it's the one body part at a time versus the whole exercise or the whole series of movements. Now, every time we'll do, say that again.
For the back? Yeah, one for the back.
Oh, for the back, the spine. Yes, it'll be the spine. And we'll go through our warm-ups today. And but we'll do warm-ups every single time. But I just want to let you know we record the class. I upload it to my YouTube page for you to rewatch at your leisure. And then, Patrick, you can come in and get your stuff if you want. You can rewatch it at your leisure, or if you just want to focus on certain moves, there's the playlist with all the different Tai Chi moves. So those are resources for you to just help you be the best Tai Chi student that you're interested in being. If you never want to look at it, you don't have to. It won't hurt my feelings. You're a self-manager of what you want to do for yourself. And so you make choices on what you want to do to better yourself. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but I'm trying to give you all the tools to help you get all the benefits you can from Tai Chi. So to incentivize you, to get you to come to class, I'm kind of bribing you a little bit. So you see my t-shirt, it says Tai Chi for Fall Prevention, seeking balance every day. And the back says our principles, and it lists our principles. And then on the bottom, it says Namaste. If you come to 10 classes, you will earn a t-shirt. And I'll mail that to you. I have them in 3 colors. This color teal, I have a coral color, and a gray. So you can choose what size and color that you would like, but you got to come to 10 classes to earn the t-shirt. Now I've cut mine off, so if you get yours will have the length on it. So don't think you might not like a short shirt. I just cut mine off because I didn't want to have to tuck it in. So you can cut it up any which way you want. But that's a lesson for another day, isn't it? Of how to rearrange a t-shirt. So like I said, I might not even said my name, but my name is Jennifer Crosby. I live in Appling County. Our hub town is Baxley, and I work for the Area Agency on Aging. This year, I will be here 23 years. This year, in terms of virtual programming, it is, oh Lord, it may be going on my 3rd year of virtual teaching. So I've been teaching Tai Chi since 2012 consistently. I said I did it first in 2006. And then there was a lull. I did some other programs and came back to Tai Chi. So if that doesn't tell you how much I love it, the fact that I've done it since 2012, the fact that I teach about 5 classes a week, I hope you know just how much I love this program. This past summer, I had the opportunity to do it on the beach. The sun was rising. I watched it rise. And then with the warmth of the sun, I did the whole Tai Chi moves. And that was such a wonderful experience. So if you ever get the chance to do that, I encourage you to do it. And that was the first time I had done it. So, you know, we have lots of time to do all those things. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Well, oh, okay. We're going to, I'm really looking forward to it too, Miss Linda. For a second there, I thought it was Linda Pritchett, and I was confused because I hadn't seen her come in yet. But anyway, y'all are from the SOWEGA Council on Aging area, so I wouldn't even get the chance to get to know you if it wasn't for this opportunity. And I just think that's really exciting that we get to meet each other from different places because of the virtual opportunity, because of the internet. So let's get started, and I will, you know, just enter different informations in here for you. Yes, Miss Lula.
Where did you get my name? That's where you got my name from?
Where did I get your name?
That's where you got me from, Cancer Supervision?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Miss Samantha, I think she's the one that got everybody signed up.
You know, I think I might have done it one time before over there. I may have. When I
Okay.
started, I know that I've done it before over there.
Well, we have been, as you know, in the state of Georgia, there are 12 people that do my job. And back in the day, I don't know how long y'all been around, there was a girl named Robin McCord. Do y'all remember Robin?
No, I don't remember. I don't know her.
Well, Robin McCord taught Tai Chi during when the world shut down with COVID. She taught Tai Chi on virtual. She just spearheaded and did a great job with the wellness program. And she left to a different job, and I took over her classes. And from there, I just kept going. So it's a partnership that we have with our agency is called Heart of Georgia Altamaha Area Agency on Aging. And we partner with SOWEGA Council on Aging to make this happen. So I have seniors from my area, and there are seniors from Southwest Georgia as well. I want to give you permission to interrupt me. If you have a question, you can say, Jennifer, hey, you know, whatever question you have. I want to make sure that you always have an answer if something comes up. Yes, Miss Lula?
Can anybody come to this class, or you got to be a member at Council and Agency?
Anybody can come to this class. We just have to make sure that they have the link to the class.
Okay.
Because it is on a Zoom platform outside of the Claris. If you have a Claris tablet, then the class is loaded to your tablet, and it automatically starts whenever it's class time.
Well, I like to use my computer.
Yes. I like to use my laptop as well. I have a Claris, but it's a little bit smaller than my laptop, and I like a bigger screen. Now, some people use their cell phones and cast it to their smart TVs so that it's on their bigger screen TVs. So lots of options with technology, and probably even more than I even know. Yeah. So we'll get started with our warm-ups, and like I said, I'll give you information. There's probably be more talking in the beginning of our classes than, you know, later on in the 16 weeks, just because you know, we're learning. We're just at that learning stage here. So all right. First thing we do, and we do every time, is walk around, open and close our hands, bend our elbows. Now I'm walking forward and backwards just so I can stay in camera view. I don't really recommend walking backwards unless you know for sure there's nothing behind you. If you can see, like I can see in my camera, that there's nothing back there for me to trip over and it's not a safety hazard. But our goal is to just get our bodies warmed up. And we do that by just walking around, pumping our arms, and getting our bodies ready for exercise. We want to make sure our bodies are warmed up, because if our muscles are cold, then it increases our chance of injury. So we just take a few minutes to walk around and get our bodies ready for exercise. Yes, Miss Lula?
I just got through doing exercise, so I don't get this matter with, I just got through doing one.
All right. Well, you'll be double exercised. I see everybody is standing up, but know that you always listen to your body. And if your body needs a break, just take a break. Don't feel like you just have to keep going because I'm still going. You can always sit and just watch if your body needs a break. You can sit and continue to move. And because Tai Chi can be done seated, Tai Chi can be done with your eyes closed and just thinking about it. And of course, obviously, Tai Chi can be done standing up. If you need to rely on a chair for balance, there's options for that too. So whatever your needs are, please go satisfy your needs. And if you need help making adjustments to satisfy them, let me know, because this program is modifiable. And we want to make sure that you are doing it in your comfort level. So one of the benefits that Tai Chi gives us is body awareness. So body awareness can mean lots of things, but specific to Tai Chi, and my experience is, because of Tai Chi, I catch myself not breathing. Have you ever done that? Have you ever caught yourself holding your breath? Sometimes when I get really busy doing something, I realize I'm not breathing. And so in Tai Chi, we do diaphragmatic breathing. We breathe throughout. We try to completely fill our lungs with air, and we want to be conscious of breathing. So body awareness can mean recognizing that I'm holding my breath and I need to breathe. Another thing about body awareness is I used to have this habit of pulling my shoulders up and having tension in my shoulders. And because of Tai Chi teaching me how to have better posture, I started relaxing those shoulders, kind of pulling my shoulders back a little bit, whether I'm not hunched forward or with my shoulders up. So if I ever catch myself holding my shoulders up, and I'm going to stop walking around as I show you about body awareness and how to properly hold our bodies. So we want to make sure our shoulders are relaxed and not holding tension there. We also want to think about our posture. And so our posture, think about it like a string that pulls up and down at the same time. You know, that's our spine. We want to have that good, nice posture where we could carry around a book on our head, carry around a basket of fruit, right? So body structure is one of the principles of Tai Chi, how we hold our bodies. So we've talked about letting tension go in our neck and shoulders, having that upright spine. But then when it comes to our feet, we want to have our feet about shoulder width apart. It could be hip width or shoulder width. What we don't want to do is have our feet right close together. That's not a stable stance. We want to widen our stance so that we're more stable. Another thing is our knees. So in Tai Chi, we have what's called open joints, or song, which is spelled S-O-N-G, song joint. And so our elbows and our knees, we have a little softness there. We don't straighten them out. We don't lock those joints. So when we're standing in our upright posture with our feet shoulder and hip width apart, we want our knees to have a slight bend in them. We don't want to lock them straight.
Okay.
Soft bend, feet shoulder width apart, good posture, no tension in our shoulders. This is our stable stance. This is how we want our body structure to be as we move through Tai Chi. Not just Tai Chi though. I want you to remember this stance if you're at Walmart standing in line, if you're standing at your pew in the church. I want you in your stable stance. Because no matter where you are, if you're in this stable stance, if someone accidentally bumps into you, you are less likely to fall if you have your feet out wide and your knees a little bit bent. You can absorb a little bit of impact when you're in this stable stance. If you were to have your feet together and your knees locked, someone comes and bumps you, you're more likely to fall. So remember that what we learn in Tai Chi class, we can apply those principles out in the world, the way we hold our bodies, as long as we're being aware of how we're holding our bodies, and that can start to protect ourselves from falling. Now, when we do our Tai Chi, we're going to do a lot of weight transfer, and this is part of body structure too. We will shift our weight to one leg so that we can move the other foot, move that other leg. Shifting weight requires our muscles to be stabilizer muscles. And when we do it slowly, it challenges our muscles in a different way than if we were to do it fast. So remember when I told you, oh, I like those fast exercises. I like to jump and punch and kick and all the things. That does one good thing for my body, but Tai Chi, by slowing down, it's challenging and it makes my muscles develop in a different way. So Tai Chi with the weight transference helps our muscles be stronger and stabilizers, and that helps keep us from falling. That's our goal. We do not want to fall. We want to do whatever we can to keep us from falling. So we have our body structure within our principles, upright posture. We're going to do warm-up movements for our neck, for our shoulders, for our spine or our back, for our hips, for our knees, and for our ankles. So let's start with our neck. Now these first three, the neck, spine, and shoulders, there's nothing going on with our legs. We're not shifting weight. We're holding our weight on both legs with that stable stance. If you have a hard time standing for a long time, then these first ones you might want to do seated since there's no leg movement. And then when it's time to do our hips, knees, and ankles, then you can stand up. So that gives you some variety if you have a problem with endurance. And we can build endurance over time. But let's start with our neck. Stable stance. Our hands are to our side. Let me move forward. I'm going to raise my hands up, palms down. I'm not going to go any higher than that shoulder. Once I go higher, I start feeling a little tension in that shoulder. So I bring them up, no higher than my shoulder, turn my hands and pull them towards my chin and chest. Then I turn them and push away from my body. Now I'm going to take my eyes and I'm going to follow those hands all the way down. And you feel a little bit of stretch in the back of your neck. Now let's do it again. We bring those hands up, palms down, towards our chin and chest. Turn and push away from our bodies and follow those hands all the way down. One more time. Bring them up towards our chin and chest. Turn and push away and follow those hands all the way down. So that was very slow. That is the movement control principle of our Tai Chi. Slow, smooth, continuous. That's our goal in our movements. Up. So as soon as we get here, we go the other way and then we bring it down. So it's one smooth and slow movement. The other movement for our neck starts out that same way. We bring those hands up towards our chin and chest. Now, when we get here, we're going to drop one hand down to our hip. Now, notice I didn't just drop my arm and let it, just flail around down here. I kept it engaged by holding my palm facing the floor, and it's just right here by my hip. So this one right here, I'm going to turn my head like I'm looking over my shoulder. As I turn my head to look over my shoulder, my hand's going to go with me. It's like I'm looking in a mirror as I look towards that shoulder. You don't have to go as far as you can go. Just go until you feel a slight stretch. Come back to the front and switch hands. So now this hand's by my hip. Now I'm ready to follow this hand as I look towards that shoulder, stretching my neck. So you should feel that stretch in your neck. Switch hands.
Jennifer, when I'm turning, I'm not turning the body, just my head only.
You're only turning your head. If you were to turn your body, then that would stretch your spine. And we'll do that one when we get to our spine. But this one is just for our neck, so we only move our head. So everything faces forward. Your legs, your knees, your body. Now, there may be a little bit of movement in the top of your body, but really the main thing is that neck, right? So from side to side, following that hand. The more you practice this, the more range of motion that you will get in your neck. And there is an activity of daily living that is associated with this movement. That it can help make it easier. And what I think about is I'm parked in a parking spot. I need to get out of this parking spot. I need to turn around to make sure nobody's back there. You see that? Turn around to see that nobody's back there. We have to have mobility of our neck to be able to do that. Or, hey, I'm driving. I need to change lanes. What do I have to do? Look over in that lane to make sure nobody's there before I put on my blinker and change lanes. We can't rely 100% on our mirrors and the little blinky light that tells us somebody's over there. Or, there's sometimes blind spots. Sometimes people are really driving fast. There's a lot of, variables, but using our head to be able to take a good look, take notice if it's safe to switch lanes, and then switch lanes. So this movement right here can help with that mobility of your neck to be able to function and do those activities of daily living. So those two are for our neck. Do we have any questions about those two movements? Okay. Next is for our shoulders. So for our shoulders, we're going to have our hands to our side. And what we're going to do first is roll our shoulders forward. Good. Now, I think about my fingers on my legs, and I'm drawing a circle about the size of a quarter as I roll those shoulders forward. Now that may feel a little bit awkward because, I've already told you we want to roll our shoulders back, right? So that we have good posture. So the second part of that movement is rolling those shoulders back with those small circles about the size of a quarter. And that feels like a massage you give yourself, doesn't it? So we roll forward, small circles, and roll back. Now, if you've ever found yourself sitting in a comfy chair and you've kind of got bad posture and you're kind of out of sorts, that is a move that you can use to reset your posture. So, you've been in your comfy chair, you get up and you go to walk and you're like this and you're like, oh, this isn't good. So roll those shoulders back, boom, posture reset. So we always roll forward first and then roll back to reset that posture. Next shoulder exercise. Still in our stable stance, hands to our side. We're going to bring our hands up, palms up, turn and push them down. Bring those hands up and turn and push them down. Easy peasy, right? All right, so those two are for our shoulders. Any questions about those movements?
No.
Okay, very good. All right, next is our spine or our back. Excuse me, y'all, I'm so thirsty. So we make a ball, all right? So it's an imaginary ball. And you see my hands are facing each other. The palms of my hands are facing each other to hold this ball. When I hold this ball, I'm kind of holding my arms out from my body. This is how I describe it. Let your armpits breathe. Don't close them up and suffocate them. Let your armpits breathe. Just really hold that ball out. This right here allows energy to flow in your body. And in Tai Chi, we work with life energy. And it's just the energy in our body that gives us life. And we want more of life. So we increase our life energy by doing Tai Chi and having our palms face, opening our joints, and that allows that internal experience of Tai Chi. You don't have to believe it. It's in there happening. We don't have to go down that path of weird to talk about life energy, but it's there. It's what makes our bodies different than, say, a body that's in a casket. We're both bodies, but our body has life. So here we hold our ball, and the first one that we're going to do is called separate the heavens and the earth. So the hand that's on top of our ball is going to come down and push towards the ground. Now notice I kept a soft bend in my elbow. I didn't lock my joint. I'm down, but I'm not locked. The hand that's on the bottom of the ball is going to come up, kind of follow your spine, even though it's in our back, or follow that spine, and then turn and push up. So you're pushing up and down at the same time. Notice this bend right here. I'm not locked. I got that bend as I stretch my spine vertically. Now come back to my ball and switch sides. So this one comes up and pushes. This one goes down and pushes. You feel that stretch in your spine? Here and switch. You know, our bodies settle as we get older, just like houses settle. And that's why we get shorter as we get older. Our bodies kind of settle. And this kind of helps give that spine space to breathe. Back to our ball, switch and stretch. That one feels good too. Just be conscious of not locking joints. And there may be a little bit of a learning curve to that move. You may be stretching your arms and not being able to engage your spine. And maybe with that not bending, it can help engage the stretch of the spine. If you're pushing up and down at the same time, that's that magic potion to stretch the spine. Okay. Is that, do you have any questions about that? Because as we go through this movement, it's a little more complicated than the first ones that we did. Okay, good deal. Next move for our spine involves our ball. This time, this is the one you were asking about earlier. Do I move my body? This time, we're going to move our body. We have our ball. Our body's going to take it for a ride. So the hand that's on top tells us the direction in which we go. So I come to that side, just moving my torso, and I stop just above my knee. Now, I can physically go way over here, but we don't do that in Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, smaller is better. If I go way over here, I can hurt myself. I can stretch my spine. I can pull my knee. So we're just lightly stretching and warming up our spine. So we just take it a short ride just above that knee, switch our hands, and then come back across our bodies to just above that other knee, switch here. So our armpits are breathing, our hands are facing each other, our torso is moving. Now, I'm not moving my head like I did in the neck exercise, but my head is just following along with my body, okay? So I don't want you to think we're necessarily moving our neck. Our head's just going along, side to side. And we'll talk more about this movement in terms of engaging our core, what is our dantian. Like, there's so much we can learn, but for now, the basic of the movement is a short trip side to side, switching our hands. The hand that's on top is the direction that we go. Okay, those two are for our spine. Our next movements are for our hips. When we get to our lower body, this is where it gets a little more challenging, and it's because we shift weight to one leg. I mean, if I were to tell you, hey, everyone, just stand on one leg and be flamingos, you would say, that's not a good idea because I'm scared I'll fall, you know, but what we do in Tai Chi is shift weight to one leg, just like we were flamingos. So in our first hip exercise, so watch me first. Here's what it's going to look like. We shift our weight to one leg. We place our other heel out forward and our hands go back. Then I pause in the middle and then I put my toe back, but out like a kickstand on a bike, and my hands go up. So back to the center, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. One more time, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. Now, this is a challenge for our balance. So if you need to hold on to a table, a stable table, a wall, a chair, and skip these hand movements, that's fine. Now let's go to the other side. Shift the weight, heel forward, hands back. Did you have a question? Okay. So I know this is challenging, that's good for us. It's good for our muscles to be challenged. That's how they get stronger. So just take your time with this movement, because our principle of movement control is slow, smooth, and continuous. Okay? Slow and smooth. Keep in mind that that toe, when it's back, is back into the side like it's a kickstand. I'm going to hold on to the wall for this. If I were to put my foot straight back, that wouldn't feel as stable. It would be like if my feet were standing, or feet were right beside each other. So I don't go straight back, I go back, but it's out at an angle. And it's just like a kickstand works. You know how a kickstand comes off a bike out, and that keeps it from falling down. So holding our leg like that is helping keep us from falling down. Now the hands is a counterbalance, right? The hands is not the most important part of that movement. So if you needed to hold on to a chair or hold on to the wall to be able to do that movement, being able to do this movement is more important than what was going on with my hands. If you can do it all together, that's great. I'm just letting you know, in terms of importance, what's happening with our legs is most important. So that's the first one for our hip. The other one for our hip, we shift weight to one leg, and when the other leg has no more weight on it, we lift and tap it slightly out, bring it back, and shift weight, lift and tap, and bring it back. And so our hands, we stack like this, and they go in the direction of the weight shift. We stay within our frame. So let me show you what that means. So I'm shifting to this side, my hands go to this side, and then I tap out. Now notice my hands stopped here at the frame. So when I talk about stay in your frame, it's as if you went to the Hobby Lobby and you said, I need the perfect size frame for this body. And this body would have a frame that was this big. It would come right here and it would go right here. My frame wouldn't be out here. That would be too big of a frame. So my perfect frame of my body. And when I move, I stay in that frame. If I were to go outside of that frame, then I will start leaning. And if I start leaning is falling. And that goes against what we're trying to do here. So we shift, stay within our frame, keep our body upright, tap, back, switch our hands, shift to that other side, lift and tap, staying within that frame, keeping our bodies upright. And this one right here is for our hips. So there's our two for our hips. If fall prevention was our #1 and only goal, weight transference would be what I would tell you to focus on. Weight transference is what strengthens these muscles to hold our bodies upright. Practicing upright posture. If we are walking through life like this, leaning, we're more likely to fall. So that's why upright posture is so important to falls prevention. All right, next is for our knees. We have some more weight transference. We're going to shift the weight to one leg, and we're going to lift and tap our toe out in front of us. Bring it back, shift, lift, and tap. Now there's arm movements. We make a fist, and we don't squeeze our fist. We keep our fist loose, and we're going to punch out, keeping a soft bend in our elbow. We're not really punching anyone. We're going to punch out the opposite hand of the foot that steps out. So if this is the foot that's stepping out, I shift, lift, tap, and punch. So there's that cross lateral movement, which is good for our brains. And we'll talk about that later too. I can't tell y'all everything today. Shift, lift, make sure you have your balance, and lift and tap and punch. Shift, lift, tap and punch. Being conscious of upright posture as we transfer weight, slow, smooth, and continuous. Shift, lift, tap, and punch. And these are our warm-ups of our major joints that we'll do every time. As we learn them and get better, we won't talk as much about them.
Okay.
And it'll take less time to do the warm-ups. And that's when, where we'll spend our time learning our series of movements for Dr. Lamb's Tai Chi for falls prevention. But the warm-ups has that basis of principle and really truly prepares us for our Tai Chi. It's Tai Chi in nature. And I'll show you as we start learning our movements, oh, that warm-up prepared us for this move, and show you the relationship. The next one for our knees has the weight transfer. And then we step out just a little bit. We keep both of our feet flat on the floor as we shift weight to that front foot, just a little bit of weight, and punch that opposite hand. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, side by side. So here we have a lot of weight shift going. We're shifting weight side to side, but then we're also shifting front and back. So weight transfer, I'm telling you, it is the secret to falls prevention. Finally, we have our ankle movements. I'm going to open this door. It gets really hot in here whenever that door is shut. The air conditioning system is so messed up. All right, so the next is for our ankles. So there are no arm movements for our ankle. So you can do whatever feels comfortable for you with your hands. I usually bring them right here, right in front of me. So we're going to shift our weight to one foot or one leg. And our foot, we're going to do heel, toe, heel, toe. So we're rocking that foot, working on the range of motion of that ankle joint. It's a joint we kind of take for granted. But imagine just how important it is to falls prevention. Bring it back, shift, and let's rock the other foot, heel, toe. Feels good, doesn't it? You may feel stretch in the back of the bottom part of your leg and the front of the bottom part of your leg as you do this movement. So you're stretching your calf and the shin of your leg, that lower part of your leg. Bring it back. Now we're going to do our other movement for our ankle. Shift the weight and now go big toe, little toe. So we're going side to side with our foot. And this one's a little more challenging than the other one, but it's all in the name of better range of motion of your ankle joint. Bring that foot back, shift the weight, and now let's do that on the other foot. Little toe, big toe, side to side. All right, so let's give our bodies a little shake. We have done 2 movements for our neck, 2 movements for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees, and the 2 for our ankles. So those are our warm-up exercises. How comfortable do you feel with those movements?
Okay.
That's doable, right? We got this. Heck yeah. The more we do it, the better we'll get at it. Remember, this recording is here for you to go back through these movements if you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. I promise you, I will not hold it against you. So we're done with our movement for today. So as always, we cool down. And the way we do a cool down is to make a loose fist with our hands, and we bring our knees up and give our thighs a little punch. Now, what this does is breaks up lactic acid. Now, don't be surprised if you are a little bit sore tomorrow. If you don't do a lot of physical activity, and this is the first time you've moved in a while, you may be sore from doing the weight transfer and moving your body. And lactic acid is why you feel sore. And so breaking up that lactic acid helps relieve some of that soreness. And that's the point of this movement right here. So in our cool downs, we punch our thighs, but I mean, you can punch anywhere you want to. That's a little bit sore. Our next cool down movement is called tense and release. So what the purpose of this movement is to recognize when you are holding tension and let it go. So what I want you to do is tense your muscles, tense everything up, and then let it go. Tense it up and relax. Now it doesn't feel good to stay tense, does it? Let it go. It feels good to let it go. Whenever you're tense and you hold tension all the time, that can bring you pain. It can bring you tension headaches. You can have just soreness in your jaw and your neck. You don't realize you may be holding up tension and you don't know it, and then you don't understand why you're in pain. So that's where that body awareness comes in of, ooh, I'm always catching myself holding tension in my shoulders. Let it go. Body awareness. What it feels like to be tense, what it feels like to let it go. So that's our goal, is to recognize tension and let it go throughout our whole day, not just in Tai Chi class. And then we do our shoulder circle again, where we bring our hands up, palms up, turn and push them down in front of us. So we inhale as we come up, and we exhale as we push down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. And then each class we end with this. We make a loose fist with our right hand, and this represents our strength. By strength, it's not physical strength, it's an internal strength as well. Our left hand, we hold our fingers together, and that represents our friendship. So we have our strength and our friendship. Our thumb of our left hand we bring in, and this represents our humility. Strength, friendship, and humility. We bring those hands together like this, and together we say namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste is spelled N-A-M-A-S-T-E. Namaste. And namaste is a word that means everything in me respects everything in you. And it doesn't matter if we're different. we can still be respectful of each other. And so it's not just us here, but everybody that we encounter, we want to be respectful of, even despite our differences, right? And so that would make it a much more beautiful world. And so that's how we always end our class here, with that salute and namaste. We even have namaste on the back of our shirts at the very bottom. And remember, you earn a shirt by coming to class. If you come to 10 of the 16 classes, then you will be able to earn a shirt, and I will send that to you to your house. Do you have any questions for me today?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Well, we must be off to a good start, right, ladies?
Right.
We will do it again next Tuesday, and we'll continue to learn. We will do our warm-up exercises, and we'll start our first movement that's called commencement.
Okay.
And then I'll let y'all lead me and what y'all want to know and learn, and at the pace that y'all want to do it. So that is one way I do my classes, is allow y'all to help me pace it out. Okay.
If we were to miss a 1:30 class, could we come to 10:30 that day if something bumps our schedule?
I don't have a problem with that. You will want to talk to Samantha, because
Okay.
she asked me that question last week, and I told her that was fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with y'all coming to both classes if y'all wanted to come to both classes. But I know things come up, and so y'all may not be able to come to the 1:30, and the 10 o'clock is a better. But always know that I will upload these classes to YouTube. And so you can do them on Thursday if Tuesday was just a wash. It's pretty much the same class. You know, sometimes they're paced a little different. Sometimes I'll have a person that requests seated, and so I'll do seated. I mean, it just depends on the class, but y'all are welcome to any of the classes I teach. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and I will see y'all next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.